Well, welcome everybody. Hello. I'm Stephen of Stephen the Jupiterian, and it's in your stars. Well, recently, overnight, just overnight. Um, yeah. Um, Venus entered her exaltation in the sign of Pisces. I'm going to share the chart with you, but I also wanted to share an interesting thing that I was thinking about and meditating on before I did this video. And so, yeah. And then I took shower and now I'm here. Okay. But you don't need to know that. But just, yeah. So that's why it took me so long to make this video. Um, because this song by the Eurythmics called There Must Be an Angel Playing with My Heart was in my head this morning. And dealing with my mom still in the hospital, my dad getting evaluated today, which I am still waiting to hear about this morning. Uh, so, yeah, that too. So, to be placed in assisted living. Um, so, yeah. I'm just here in limbo. So let me check. Let me just start share the chart. Um, Mom is starting to get going to rehabilitation. So it is almost 11 o'clock on the West Coast. With Taurus rising. Venus is at 0 degrees and 27 minutes. So it's been 27 minutes. Well, longer than it has been hours since Venus entered Pisces because Venus, let's move this into an hours because it was overnight, like 26 hours ago, I think, maybe. Hmm. Maybe about that, maybe less than that. Because so here's Pisces, Venus in Aquarius, 29 degrees, 59 minutes. And then at 2:18 last night in the morning, 2:18 in the morning, Venus entered Pisces. And there's no way I was going to be up at 2:18 in the morning to do a video with Venus just making ingress into Pisces, making a conjunction, well, starting a conjunction with Mercury. And the moon had moved into Sagittarius. We had Sagittarius rising, the moon in Sagittarius, Venus enters Pisces. On the West Coast, anyway, in San Francisco, where I am, this would be different for your time zone. But here in San Francisco, we're going from by my perspective. And this is the part of spirit here in Virgo, very close to the South Node. Part of fortune is in Aquarius, was in Aquarius at this time. So if we move this clock, the part of fortune is now in Pisces, because actually this is the part of fortune and the part of spirit are not stationary. Um, they are astrological equations by the moon and the ascendant and the sun. If you're a day chart and a night chart, they're different as well. So we have the sun at 22 degrees of Aquarius. Oh, and actually, by the way, the Unified School District San Francisco is on strike. I predicted they would be on strike. It's long overdue, but they just started their strike Monday. Monday. So today, actually, they announced their schools will be closed on yesterday, and they are on strike. I'm so glad for that. It's well overdue, and I hope they get what they want before Mercury goes retrograde, which will be soon. But on the 13th, Saturn enters Aries. So the fighting will continue for 3 days from today. Today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Yep. Saturn enters Aries. The 14th for most of you, but it enters the Aries on the 14th late at night on the West Coast. And I'll share that with you. Move this 3 days from now. It's not going to actually, here's Saturn at 29 degrees and 58 minutes. And let's move this into hours. It'll be 11 something. And the evening. Oh, wait, no. Actually, no, even before then. 5 p.m. Or, interesting. Move this into a minute. But on the 20th of February, Saturn and Neptune will be conjunct. Yep. So let's move this back in minutes. Will it be 4 something or 3? No, 4:12 p.m. on the West Coast. 4:12 p.m. 4:11. Okay, we're moving this back into seconds now. There you go. 4:11. Saturn in Aries. I know, you know me, I need to be technical. Everything needs to be, I need to show you exact second to the second when Saturn enters Aries. 0 degrees, 0 minutes. Mercury is not retrograde yet. We will move this ahead a few days because Mercury goes retrograde at the end of February, around the 26th. And we're going to watch Mercury here. Here's Mercury at 19 degrees. We'll move that another day. There you go. February 26th. Mercury at 22 degrees of Pisces. 31 minutes. Let's see exactly what time because timing is everything. What time does Mercury actually go retrograde? 22 degrees, 33 minutes. Let's move this into minutes now because it's no longer red. So 22 degrees, 33 minutes. So he's stationed, starting to station. He's already started stationing. Yeah. Retrograde. But let's find out exactly to the minute and second when Mercury goes retrograde at 10:48, right? Let's see. Now moving this back into seconds. Is it 10:47 or 10:48? 10:48 and 10 seconds. I have this is to the second. Yeah. We like to be precise here, as she might have. South Node in Virgo, Pluto in Virgo. Precise. And to the second and minute. 10:48 and 10 seconds at night. 10:48 p.m. The sun will be at 7 degrees. So Mercury will be retrograde until, yeah, March 1st, March 2nd, 3rd. Until March 20th. 18th, 19th, 20th, March 20th, 19th. Let's see. March 19th or 20th. So Mercury goes direct on the 20th. Okay. Mercury goes direct on the 20th. But what time on the 20th? Let's move this into hours. We're on the 20th at 1:48 a.m. so far. And Mercury's still retrograde until Mercury's still at 8 degrees, 29 minutes. Here. Mercury is retrograde at 11:48 a.m. At noon, around a little afternoon. Let's move this into back into minutes on March 20th. There we go. 12:33, or is it 12:32? Let's check the seconds. Move this into seconds now. Okay. 10:32. Almost 10:33. Yeah. 10:32 and 51 minutes p.m. That'll be afternoon. 12:33, 51 minutes in the afternoon. Mercury moves direct. Exactly. And it's also the spring equinox. Well, it's after the spring equinox because when the sun enters 0 degrees and 0 minutes, first the sun enters Aries, then Mercury goes direct, and then we start the what's called Ostara. It's another um, like Imbolc is a festival, and Ostara, this beginning of spring equinox, quite interesting here. Yeah, we're going to be spring begins, and we have a whole new way things are moving. And by this time, Venus will be in Aries by then. Mars will be in Pisces. Jupiter will be finally direct. But yeah, actually, Jupiter is direct way before then. Jupiter moves direct on the 10th of March. So it's 10 days ago that I'm sorry, Jupiter went direct on the 20th of March. The 10th of March, sorry. So 10 days before the sun enters Aries, Jupiter will be direct. Finally. Yay. And Mercury will be retrograde until the 20th. And at this time, 12:32 p.m. and 51 seconds. Sorry. I do this to the second. Yes. Not being pretentious, I'm just being accurate. But on March 8th, Venus is conjunct on March 8th. Let's move the yeah. On the 10th, let's move this in days. Let's go to the 8th first. Right? The 8th. Venus and Saturn will be conjunct on the 8th of March. And then here's Jupiter retrograde at 15 degrees 5 minutes. Let's move this into days. We're watching Jupiter start change from red to not anymore. Jupiter on the 10th. So this would be later in the day on the 10th. Because on the 10th, this would be, yeah, we'll move this into hours. Jupiter is no longer retrograde. here in the late hours on the west coast of the United States and Canada. At 7:32, Venus is still direct. Move it another hour, at least 8:32. Yeah, we move this into minutes. There you go. Not 8:29, by 8:30 ish. Let's move this into seconds. 8:30 or 8:29. Which is it? Which is it gonna be? 8:29 or 8:30 exactly? 8:29 and okay. 8:29 51 minutes seconds. 8:59 29 52 seconds. There you go. The difference between a second 8:29 52 seconds at night PM. Jupiter is no longer retrograde. And then on the 17th of okay, so this is March. And then the 18th of March, we have a new moon in Pisces on the 18th of March. I'm going to move this in 2 days, 8 days from now. 18th of March. We move this into hours. Okay, yeah. They're very close here. The sun at 28 degrees, 27 minutes. The moon, 28 degrees, 30 minutes. That's okay. That's a little off by a few minutes, but that's okay. By this time, we'll have a new moon in Pisces. And it's not a lunar eclipse. That's happening on the 3rd. I think I covered that in a previous video. But on the 3rd of March, there's a lunar eclipse. But not this one on the 18th. This is just a regular new moon. We have a full moon lunar eclipse on the 3rd of March. That's a day after my birthday. Thank God. That is after my birthday on March 2nd. But let's go to the 3rd of March. The moon in Virgo, the sun in Pisces, and they're very close to the nodes. We move this in hours. So the moon is at 13 degrees, about maybe 12 degrees. Hmm. 12 degrees. Okay. All right. Then this full moon eclipse, 12 degrees. Which is interesting. That's quite interesting. For the month of March, we start our eclipse season. We're in the middle of it. Just started eclipse season. We're in the midst of it already. So, yeah. Let's move that into minutes. The sun is at 12:53. Yeah, so here you are. Exact 12:50, 12 minutes, 12 degrees, 53 minutes. The moon in Virgo. The sun in Pisces at 12 degrees, 53 minutes. Perfect opposition. At 3:36 and 52 seconds in the morning, early morning on the west coast. The west coast of Canada and the United States. The sun is close to the north node, and the moon is close to the south node. They are they are in a conjunction. Not exactly, it's not an exact conjunction, but it's still considered a conjunction within orb of each other, which makes this a lunar eclipse. And since the moon is ruled by Mercury, which is in Pisces, that's retrograde at this time, ugh, interesting conversations. Interest. So yeah, I hope that this strike doesn't last through March when Mercury goes retrograde, which will be the end of February. I hope they get a deal on this strike in San Francisco Unified School District. So let's go to the next month. Let's see what happens next month. April 3rd. Well, on April 3rd, or 2nd, let's move this a day. April 2nd, maybe, April 1st. Let's see, move this into hours. The sun is at 11 degrees of Aries. The moon is getting closer to 12 degrees of Virgo, Libra. Okay. The sun is at 12 degrees Aries. Okay. And then we'll move this into minutes. The sun is at 12 degrees 19 minutes. Let's move the moon to 12 degrees and 20 minutes. 21. There we go. We have a full moon on April 1st. Venus is in Venus is in a great place. Venus is in a very good place here. Venus in Aries was in her, yeah, it was not in a great place. Venus in Aries was in detriment. Venus in Taurus is now she's in her rulership. Oh, thank goodness. Yay. By April 1st, when we have this full moon, before April 1st, actually, the end of March, Venus enters Taurus. We have this full moon on April 1st. Late at night, well, in the evening, 7:11 p 52 seconds p.m. 12 degrees 21 minutes, the sun in Aries. And the moon is at 12 degrees 21 minutes of Libra. Uranus is still in Taurus. No other planets have changed signs except for Mars. Well, Mars all through March was in Pisces. Yes, the only planet that changed signs was so far when that in this month of April, the end of March is Venus in Taurus. Let's move this into weeks. What is the next planet that moves into a new sign? Mars enters Aries. Mercury also enters Aries. Then the stellium of planets in Aries. Mercury, Neptune, Mars, the Moon, Saturn, and the Sun, and the asteroid Chiron. Disregard the descendant. This isn't a natal chart. Just sharing with you the planetary movements of the moment. Uranus is at 29 degrees, the last degree of Taurus. And let's move this into, okay. Let's move this back days now because Uranus entered Gemini April 25th, I think. Let's see. Yep. April 25th. Yes. On April 25th, Venus will enter Gemini. Then Uranus will follow. April 25th, Uranus finally moves out of Taurus for the next 14 years. Yay. I'm glad. I'm sure a lot of you will be feeling this transit going very well for you. The Uranus, the planet of rebellion, the planet of being your unique self. Yeah. Gemini rising, you're gonna be. This is gonna be so liberating for you. Or if you're Sagittarius rising, your partner will be liberated as well. Um, but actually, liberation in the ninth house if you're a Libra rising, liberation in the 10th house if you're Scorpio rising. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Capricorn rising. Yes. If you're a Capricorn rising, Virgo rising. If you're Virgo rising, then yeah, Uranus moves into your 10th house. Leo rising. The Uranus will enter your 11th house. The liberation of your networks, social circles, friends, and yeah, So as you move this a day, what a difference a day makes. Leo rising, yes. Uranus leaves your 10th house of status into your 11th of networks, friends, benefactors, even. Yeah. And so, yes, Leo rising, Cancer rising. Ay, no, I'm sorry. Let's go to Cancer rising. Uranus enters your 12th house, Cancer rising. You may find liberation in spirituality, self undoing. You know, this could be the how this 12th house is your have the house of self undoing, spirituality, um, institutions. So yeah, Gemini rising. As I said, you're going to be liberated. Aries rising. Uranus enters your third house of siblings. Yeah, find liberation in your local neighborhood. Pisces rising. Uranus enters your fourth house of home, liberation at home, revolution, and possibly at home. If you're Aquarius rising, Uranus enters your fifth house of children, creativity, self expression, being feeling liberated in your expression, self expression. Pisces. Did I skip Capricorn? I did. I'm sorry, Capricorn. There you go. Well, Capricorn, Uranus will be in your sixth house. Liberation and from work. Well, feeling liberated from work. Yeah, you may liberate yourself from a job or a service servitude. Take advantage of Sagittarius with Sagittarius rising. I'm sure Sagittarians felt liberated when left a job. Maybe possible. That could be possible for you, Capricorn. So yes, that's what I have for you. And I'm Stephen the Jupiterian, Venus. I was focusing more, I wanted to focus more on Venus in Pisces. Since I have that placement myself, Venus in the fourth house, Sagittarius rising. I actually, um, why not? I'll share my chart again. Here we go. We'll do that. And we will go to today. Here's Venus, Mercury, the North Node conjunct my Sun and my natal North Node. Venus conjunct my part of fortune. The Sun 2 degrees away from my Mercury. Actually, on third, so 2 days from now, 2 days from now, yes. um, yeah, I will be in 2 days' time. I will most likely be talking more about some sort of, yeah, in 2 days' time. Today's the 10th, 11th, 12th. The 12th or the 13th. Yeah, most likely Thursday. The sun will be over my natal Mercury. And I probably will have some more to say. I've always, actually, yes, because Mercury in Aquarius in the third house of communication. So, all right. Well, thanks for listening, watching Venus in her exaltation, Mercury in detriment and fall, not yet retrograde, which is a good thing. And also, yeah, I want to also say during the Super Bowl, I loved the halftime show. Bad Bunny exemplified everything about Mercury in Pisces. The visual elements, the electrical um, post, the post with the with electrical stuff, phenomenal. He did a phenomenal job. He kept the audience. I love humanity, and he was there for everyone. So yeah, the Super Bowl, that was Sunday. Let's move this Sunday, the 8th, right? Mercury in Pisces. And then we moved it to the 9th, the 10th. So yeah. Yes, last night. Yeah. Today's the yeah, so Venus entered Pisces. And today's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Feeling creative and mm, intuitive. Yeah. I had a dream. I'll talk to you about that another time today, this morning. But I wanted to share the song that for now, I'm still unpacking what the dream I had was about. All right. So take care of yourself and each other. Thanks for listening and watching. Hit that thumbs up button to give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I will share more content. There's definitely more content to come. And I'm your intuitive astrologer, tarot card reader. Yeah, I'm not pulling tarot cards this time. Just feeling through the energy right now. And I hope you are too. That's what this Venus and Pisces is about. To feel through energy. Be more mutable. All right. So take care. Thanks for watching. All right. Bye, everybody.